New developments involving a 6-year-old boy who nearly drowned at a camp in the district. Adonis Jackson was found unresponsive at the bottom of a pool during an afternoon swim. He spent nearly 2 weeks in intensive care before being released, but he faces an extensive recovery process. A police report revealed the lifeguard on duty had stepped away to take a lunch break with nearly 30 kids in the pool at the time. A family calling for justice and accountability. Joining us now is Adonis Jackson's mother and Dominic Calhoun, the lawyer representing Adonis's family. Bendita Malakia, the first question for both of you, and Mom, this is probably best for you, and I think all of our viewers want to know, how is Adonis doing?
Adonis is well, all things considered. He has experienced nearly a full physical recovery. We are still monitoring some of the cognitive aspects, including some mental lapses, some memory lapses, information retention, that sort of thing. But we are blessed that Adonis is riding a bike, that he started school with his classmates, and that he is able to engage in most of the activities that a 6-year-old would engage in. Where he has some room to improve and where the process may take a bit more time is on his emotional and mental recovery. He suffered from night terrors after being released from the hospital and for the last few days at the hospital. He no longer wants to go to bed by himself. He needs someone to lay with him. He has a little bit of skittishness around trying new things, and his light has dimmed a bit. And so while we are grateful that the work of the fine professionals at Children's National Hospital and the prayers of many have led to a good recovery, we still have a ways to go, and he has changed.
You talked about your son's recovery. This is every parent's worst nightmare, a little bit of a cliche, but I don't think there's any way of saying anything more than that. You yourself, just take me into your mindset over the last month.
I was in shock when I was first called about the incident. It was represented to me in that first phone call as a minor accident where Adonis guzzled some water, and I will never forget the word guzzled. And upon getting a call from a police officer who told me that he succumbed to a drowning incident, and upon meeting the chaplain at Children's Hospital, I learned that we were in a much more dangerous situation where the prognosis was unclear and his recovery was not certain. I am, as is his entire family, devastated by everything that's occurred. His siblings have been impacted and have some skittishness with respect to water and have some fear. I've experienced, owing to stress and sleeplessness, some recovery issues. But we've experienced the worst thing that a family can experience, and we are angry. We are angry, and we are ready to make sure that this happens to no other child.
And we're thankful that Adonis is still with us here today. And Dominic, I want to turn to you. I know that the police have done their investigation. You guys have probably done your own investigation as well. It may be not finalized, but what have you been able to find about that day?
Well, here's the thing. As I mentioned before, I've had experience being a lifeguard when I was a teenager. In my professional career, when I started out, before ever becoming a lawyer, I worked at a university in the Division of Student Affairs. There are a number of things that fell apart here in reference to the safety of students, in reference to making sure you're taking care of camp goers that are at a facility, and most importantly, adhering to university protocols that are standard across this nation. When an external entity comes on campus, there are certain things that they must do, that they're supposed to do, especially if they're taking care of young children. None of those things happened here. Our investigation has yielded a number of entities which we believe are all responsible for what has happened to Adonis. And I know the question that is posed to everyone, has legal action been taken? Have we filed and all those things? We are in the process of having some informal discussions with those who would be defendants in this matter. Because of those informal discussions, I can't really opine about a number of
Right.
things. But what I will tell you is if they fail to crystallize, we are more than prepared to take legal action in reference to this matter.
And Mom, you talked about this a little bit, but and Dominic, you could weigh in on this as well. But what you are calling for here, I know lawsuit is one thing, but just in general, what are you calling for?
I want all of the parties involved to know and understand that you cannot treat the lives of children with callous disregard. You must be prepared. And the desire to either try to fill out a full day of summer camp or to provide some perk or to use the name of a brand to instill confidence in parents as to the strength and the safety of an activity, none of those things should be taken lightly. My goal here is to make sure that Adonis gets everything that he needs to be as whole and healthy as he can be for the rest of his life, as well as his family, and to make sure this happens to no other child. This is important to me because there were other children in that pool, other parents who were involved, and none of those children were protected either. This happened to my kid, but this could have happened to any number of kids. And everyone involved is lucky that this didn't end in a different way.
Can't say any better than that.
Okay. Venditi Malakia and Dominic Calhoun. This is the mom of Adonis Jackson. Thank you so much for being with us here on WJLA 24/7. And we wish Adonis the best in his recovery.
Thank you so
and
much.
your entire family. Okay.
Thanks, Justin.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thanks so much.
All right, we'll be right back right after this.